Greetings, it's an honor to be with you today. And today, the topic is graduation, jealousy to envy. That's right, you heard it right. Graduation, jealousy to envy. Now, I know normally when we think graduation, we think cap gowns and celebrations and diplomas, degrees. But we're not talking about that graduation today. But this graduation is still noteworthy. It's a very important graduation. I don't want you to scoff at this because I believe that we've got to be able to monitor our behavior. All right? Graduation from jealousy to envy. Nothing eventually becomes as it appears. Nothing is really what it appears initially. And if we understand what jealousy is, let's make it relative. Who do they, or you see somebody with something, normally you would say, oh, why do they get to have that? Or, jealousy is when you look at somebody, you see them with something and you're like, why they have that? And now that's where it begins. You're looking at them. We can't help the look. We have eyes to see, right? You're looking at them and you're saying, well, why they get to have that? You know what I mean? Now, of course, with that now, it's graduating because now you're saying, because you saw them with it, you want that. You want one because you saw them with it. Before that, you didn't want one. Ain't that something? Now, how do we get to envy? Because the whole time we're graduating, we're escalating. Envy now is when you say, I want what they have. That one. It's like, let's use a practical example. It's one thing to see somebody with a car, and then you say, I want one like theirs. Why you want one like theirs? That's jealousy, obviously. Now, if we all need cars because we need to get around, but why you need one like theirs? All right, so that's obviously jealousy. Envy is when you said you want the car that they're driving. You want to covet their car or their house. That's envy. So you see how it escalates. It's a graduation. So that's why we've got to monitor these behaviors, because within this flesh dwelleth no good thing. I know you think that you're all that in a bag of chips, but listen to me. Within this flesh dwelleth no good thing. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. That's scripture. So watch yourself. Listen to Matthew 25:14-15. It says, for the kingdom of heaven is as a man, traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. Now unto one he gave 5 talents, to the other one 2, and to another one 1. To every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. Now we're well familiar with the story of the talents, so I'm going to cut to the chase. You've probably never looked at it like this, but within this story is jealousy escalating to envy. And of course, it's in the one with the 1 talent. I want to show you how dangerous that can be. Now, one had 5, one had 2, one had 1. Now, obviously, the one with 5 is carrying the heaviest burden, right? Because he, to whom much is given, much is required. He has to use all 5 of those talents. And I believe he's getting to it. Because this is according to the scriptures, according to ability, right? He didn't just give them. He gave them, it says, to every man according to his several ability. So in other words, God knows what you're able to bear. This scripture truly validates that. God knows that you can bear 5, or you can bear 1, or you can bear 2. God is not going to embarrass you. But we've got to see how God is a God of multiplication. In other words, if you use what he's given you, he will give you more. The one with the 1 talent didn't get that. He was busy looking at the one with 2 and 5 and saying, God, how dare you? You gave them 2 and you gave them 5. Why did you give me? Why did you give me 1? That's why he gave you 1. Because instead of you looking at your 1 and trying to make that 2, you're trying to take the 2 and the 5 from those guys. So you see how dangerous jealousy can be if we allow it to graduate? So I want to encourage somebody. God is not out here to embarrass anybody. He knows if he gives you 5 right away, you're going to waste it. He knows if he gives you 2 right now, you're going to waste it. But he gives you 1 so that you can work that 1. Before you know it, you'll be at 5. But you will never get there if you keep watching 2 and 5. The fella with the 1 did that, and he buried the 1 because he didn't value what he had. You see, when you start to look at what people have, you don't value what you have. You disdain what you have. You mock God, basically, because you bury his gift and his talent instead of exercising it and understanding that he's a God of multiplication. If you just work that thing, eventually you will get to where you desire. So I want to challenge somebody today. This is a graduation you don't want to entertain. And we're talking about the graduation from jealousy to envy. Let's focus on our gifts and our talents and let God use us to gain more for his honor and glory.